Look at things like the Holocaust and things of that nature, and atomic explosions and what we've been doing, war after war, you would think, well, they're not really taking responsibility. Well, I know better now.
Okay.
I know better now. I understand why.
There's a book that you wrote called The Keepers.
Correct.
Why did you call it The Keepers?
Well, it was initially going to be called Star People. For years, on those early years, I wanted to know who they were. And they don't like to answer questions for various different reasons. There was a time that what struck me with the Star People thing was, I used to have to, in the early years, I would make symbols, and I would have to do exercises, and they would extract semen. They'd do all this traumatic stuff, and I was a good laboratory mouse. There would be reward sessions. It was punishment reward, where I could get questions answered. There was a time where I knew I had done particularly well, and it was in those early years. So I got to ask a question, and I knew I was going to get an answer. So
this was your reward, to be able to ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
And my question was, who the hell, who are you? And the response was, Star People. Now, I did not like that answer as a person, because I felt like, what do you think, I'm a monkey and I'm an idiot? Star People, what are you saying? That sounds like something from 1950s science fiction. Yeah, Star People. But interesting enough about this intelligence is some of the answers, or most of the answers, are so simple and to the point that it's hard as a human being to accept something simple.
Yeah, I think I'm with you here. The key word there is people.
People.
Yeah.
People.
People.
So, Star People. So, I understood what they meant. They considered themselves people. And when they first told me that, I got on their butts hard.
Right.
Because I'm a people, you're not a people. You're a people, you're a people, you're not. How dare you call yourself a people? But over time, I started breaking down the meaning that, yes, they're from the stars, they consider themselves to be people, or persons, or beings, but they just use the term people. And they travel time, they travel dimension. They've been doing this for tens of thousands of years, so there's no real base for them anymore, so to speak. Not to say that there's something wrong with that. It was a perfect answer. Okay, now, something profound happened to change it to the Keepers. I was traveling from Naples, Florida to Fort Myers Beach, where I was living in Fort Myers Beach at the time. And halfway through that route, I saw something just phenomenal, which is not unusual for the technology they have, but I saw a craft that looked like a sailboat, meaning that I saw a sail, and it was going across the road about half a mile or 3/4 of a mile from me. Now, I lived in an area at that time where there's water, and it's not uncommon for there to be a sailboat. And as I was watching the sail, and as I'm driving down the road, and I'm watching the sail go across the road, I then realized I know this part of the area. There's no water here. There's no bridge here. And I'm looking at something as if it was just paved. It was like it's just going through the road. Well, it was the top of what I call a diamond-shaped ship, which is like a pyramid on the top. So, again, the laws of physics, as we don't understand it, don't apply. That's why some of these things seem to pass through solid matter. There's reports that they fly into volcanoes, and all of these things nature. They create a field, they can do this. Okay, so that's going to get your attention. When I saw that what it was, it then lifted itself up from the road into the sky. It was huge, quiet, you couldn't hear a thing, and it was hanging there. And I'm looking at this thing, and then the telepathic message was very distinct and very clear. It said, the Keepers, and I never came up with the Keepers are here to take their people home to a better place. Now, as that was being said, the image beamed in my head very clearly, because they do these kind of things. They can transmit thought, transmit vision. I saw inside what looked like almost like an atrium of them collecting every conceivable seed you can imagine of life. Semen, ova, plant seeds, animal extractions, blood, and all categorized and all put in high-tech ways. So they're animal extractions, blood, and all categorized and all put in high-tech way. So they're collecting this stuff. Now, what did that mean to take their people home to a better place? They refer to themselves, though, however, distinctly and clearly as the Keepers. Now, what I take that ship to be, and over the years, is something like a beacon ship, meaning that in the cosmos, there is a galactic neighborhood, and they don't fight each other in general. It's telepathic. Even if you have one agenda, they have another agenda. Now we're talking about evolved. You, in your journeys as a species, let's say you're a gray, and let's say I'll be the human being in this case. In my journeys in the cosmos, we may come across the path of a ship that we don't know what it's doing. So when that particular ship, which is like a robot ship, so to speak, when it picks up an approach by something that may be part of what it's doing or not what it's doing, it identifies itself. Mm-hmm. And as it identifies itself, then the occupants of that particular craft, and it may be a different species, know, hey, this is a collection ship. This is an automated medical ship. This is one collecting samples doing this. So they know what it is, and they go on their way.
Yep.
So when I came across this thing, when I'm realizing as time has gone by, is it picked something up on me because of interaction with these grays for 19 years. I've always said there's a residual effect of being around them, the technology, the field, something I radiate, something as abductees may, something that you may. Yeah. It picked up me as, it didn't know what I was in a sense.
But they routinely identified themselves to you.
Right.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they call themselves the Keepers.